Hello, my name is Mina Salama, and I'm a junior here at Wayne State University, majoring in public health. And the topic that I chose for today's speech is about diabetes and how diabetes can affect the life expectancy of anyone who's diagnosed with it. So I'll start off with showing you guys my cards that I'll be using throughout my speech. So there's two different types of diabetes, diabetes type 1 and diabetes type 2. And the purpose of my speech is to inform and have a better understanding of how type 1 and type 2 diabetes can affect someone's health condition along with their life expectancy. When it comes to food, people find it so hard to control their food consumption. And this leads to people becoming overweight or obese and less physically active. And those are the two main causes that lead to diabetes type 2. On the other hand, people who are diagnosed with diabetes type 1 have no hand in this condition. According to the Federal Agency, CDC on Prevention, diabetes is the 7th most common cause of death in the United States. My father was actually diagnosed with diabetes type 1 30 years ago, and this made me realize of how much medication and insulin he has to be on to have his condition stable. Central ideas: knowing how to prevent type 2 diabetes and how to protect the life expectancy, as well as understanding how type 1 diabetes diagnosed patients control their diet in order to stabilize their condition. Three main points I'll be discussing with you guys today. First one is what diabetes is, some points on how it affects diagnosed people, how to avoid type 2 diabetes. So first of all, let's start off with the definition of what diabetes is. Diabetes is the condition in which the body isn't able to properly process food for the use of energy. This is basically when the body or the pancreas can secrete enough insulin. As I mentioned before, there's two different types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 diabetes is known as insulin-dependent diabetes since diagnosed patients aren't able to produce their own insulin. And this condition is also known as genetically inherited. Type 2 diabetes, non-insulin dependent, where the pancreas doesn't produce enough insulin. Type 2 risk factors are old age, obesity, physical inactivity, and so on. Some symptoms for people to watch for. Physical symptoms: frequent urination. Behavior symptoms: anger, mood swings. Emotional and mental symptoms is stress and depression. Now that you have a brief idea of what diabetes is and how it's crucial to know its effect on those people who are diagnosed with it. Two major health conditions caused by diabetes. One is kidney disease and nerve damage. According to the American Dietitian Association, about 44% of all new cases related to kidney failure caused by diabetes. Now that you are well informed about diabetes and how it affects diabetic patients, it's also important to know the treatment used for diabetes and how patients cope with it. Most common treatment used for diabetes is insulin, and this is injected in the stomach in the soft tissue. And here's a picture of a diabetic patient testing for his blood sugar for a meal. And by getting those results, we'll determine what kind of food he has to eat or consume and how many insulin he has to inject. There's no cure for type 1 diabetes. That's why diabetic patients have to take insulin injection. Whereas type 2 diabetes can be controlled through exercise or diet. So through exercising and controlling blood sugar levels is the best key to avoid diabetes. Some healthy lifestyle habits may include having a meal plan, getting enough sleep, and etc. Those are good tips. Controlling blood pressure is important since it protects the patient's kidney, which can be prescribed through medication. As you have just learned that diabetes is a major health issue that should be under control in order to help those young adults avoid being diabetic, and also help those who are diabetic to make their condition stable. Having a good understanding on how to prevent getting diabetes can serve as a good guide in protecting someone's life expectancy. Diabetes is a challenge that many face, but if patients are willing to have a meal plan, there is a great achievement. And that is the end of my speech. And here are the cards that I used throughout my speech. And the sources that I used, the first article I used is called Mental Health by the American Diabetes Association. The second one I used is What's the Difference Between Type 1 and Type 2 Diabetes by Corinne Osborne. The third one I used is Diabetic Kidney Disease by the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases. The fourth article I used is Diabetic Neuropathy by the Mayo Foundation for the Medical Education and Research. The fifth one is How Type 2 Diabetes Affects the Life Expectancy by Christine Cherny. And the last one I used is called Diabetes by Jane Kelly. So I hope you guys learned from my speech and have a good day. Thank you.